During World War One, the Army, Navy, and Air Force relied on trained homing pigeons to carry vital messages when other communications failed. Many a life was saved through their valour. The British Navy used pigeons on smaller craft not equipped with radio communications. When an urgent message had to be sent, crew would send a pigeon with the message back to its home loft at a naval depot or air station near the British coast. It was a dangerous journey. The pigeons often had to fly against heavy wind and rain and could be blown back into the sea. Pilots carried a minimum of 2 pigeons in their planes. By the end of 1918, the pigeons of the Royal Air Force had carried 717 messages requesting help from aircraft on the water, covering a total of 20,000 miles, 32,180 kilometres. Seaplanes also carried pigeons. They were released with messages for help when the plane sank or was attacked. Pigeon number 3698, also known as Pilot's Luck, was involved in numerous rescues of seaplane crews. In one rescue, the crew of a seaplane was on the water with engine trouble. They were being attacked by 3 German aircraft. The crew attached a message to Pilot's Luck's leg and tossed him into the air. He flew 200 miles, 321 kilometres, in 5 hours back to his loft to get help. Another time, a seaplane was sinking and Pilot's Luck was sent to get help. 2 hours later, the rescuers arrived in time to save the crew who were clinging to the plane. Pigeons were vital to Army communications on the Western Front. When telegraph and telephone lines were cut or non-existent, or the terrain was ridden with shell craters which hampered human messengers, pigeons came to the rescue. Major General Fowler, Chief of the Department of Signals and Communication in the British Army, said,
"It is the pigeons on which we depend when every other method fails. During the quiet periods, we can rely on telephone, telegraph, flag signals, our dogs, and various other ways in use on the front. But when the battle rages and everything gives way to barrage and machine gun fire, to say nothing of gas attacks and bombing, then we depend absolutely on the pigeon for our communications. I am glad to say that the pigeons have never failed us."
pigeons were trained to take messages from the trenches back to headquarters. At the end of the war, the British Army had 9,000 to 10,000 pigeons in war service. During the Battle of the Somme, the French alone used over 5,000 pigeons. A good pigeon could fly a mile, 1.6 kilometres, per minute. The pigeons were moved to the front in mobile lofts, which were often converted buses. The mobile lofts were based at headquarters. The pigeons were loaded into a large basket on a dispatch rider's back. The dispatch rider would then take the pigeons to the trenches. Soldiers sending an urgent message would place the messages in a small metal cylinder attached to the bird's leg. They would then release the pigeon into the air. The pigeon then returned to the loft with its message. The pigeons recognised their own loft by the markings on the roof. Tank crews also carried pigeons to communicate with the infantry during battle. One of the most famous pigeons, Cher Ami, delivered 12 urgent messages during the Battle of Verdun and was aboarded the French Croix de Guerre with palm oak leaf cluster. But she is most famous for saving 194 American soldiers in France. During the Meuse-Argonne offensive in October 1918, over 550 men from different battalions of the United States 77th Infantry Division were trapped behind enemy lines with no ammunition and little food. Many were dead or wounded. They were being bombarded by artillery fire from their own troops, who did not know their exact location. Communications had broken down. Their telephone lines were down. Couriers could not penetrate the line. Rockets and flares were of no use. They were desperate to convey their location to division headquarters. Several pigeons had been sent but were shot down. Only Cher Ami remained. She was their last hope. Cher Ami was dispatched with an urgent message to the command post to stop the artillery bombardment. She flew the distance of 25 miles, 40 kilometres, through heavy artillery fire, reaching the command post in just 25 minutes. She had been shot through the chest, blinded in one eye, and one leg hung by a tendon, but her message saved the remaining 194 men.